Yo, morning guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a psychiatric, self-therapeutic, multimedia project to solve problems challenging my life resulting self-improved process to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that we set for ourselves and those around us. So with that being said, if you'd like an introduction and brief summary into the Ahn Rho Project, how we break it down into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, as well as the live streaming schedule and the content, the copyright-free music, and find all that jazz in the previous live stream straight up to January 2021 for the past 3.5 years. It's all there. With that being said, let's just dive into the table of contents for today. Today is a pretty short stream. I'm assuming that's going to be less than 10 minutes tops, and that's because we're going to whittle it down to maybe only about 8 segments, and most of them don't have a lot of content to cover. So the first thing I want to do is just say that the third segment is supposed to be photography. We clearly don't have any photography right here. There's no photographs. There's like nothing to show. So we're gonna skip ahead into the fourth segment, which is the digital stuff on the left hand side, which is this media profile from Stoic Reflections as usual to showcase their stuff. You can check it out on Instagram. Life is short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, fear the future. And so we're going to talk just a little bit about that very briefly. And then after that, alright, I'm going to remove this because, again, copyright. So it's not really my content, just to make sure that you understand this is not my kind of stuff. You can check that on their own channel, Stoic Reflections, find it on Instagram. So after that would be the fifth segment. The fifth segment would just stay digital. And we went to the database, talk a little bit about my health today and how it's just deteriorated. Even yesterday, I was binge eating once again after I came back from work. So it's been a trend for this entire week. It's supposed to kill off. And well, after that, sixth segment, we're just gonna try and get up if we can. We're just, get up off the chair and try to cover all the physical stuff here in region A788. But there's not really a whole lot here to cover either. It's just mostly garbage and recyclables. So then after that will be 7 and 8, the last two segments, right? Last two segments are comments. If you have anything to say, any questions, any funny memes, jokes you want to pop in, it's right there on the left hand side, bottom left, and I'll try to get back to you then. That's that. It doesn't have to be extremely serious, but we'll get to that in a second. And finally, a little bit of relationships and storytelling in the segment 8, which is about that same time as well. It's more abstract. I can't show you those things like relationships and workplace and stuff like that. So 3 quick disclaimers before we get into things. Not really disclaimers, but just kind of things to keep in mind. First of all, this is a high utility stream, meaning that I am doing things obviously because they are useful and beneficial, at least to me right now. But eventually this will start to expand in the future over to being helpful for other people as well. At least that's the aim, and I don't know if I can actually achieve that objective. Second thing I should mention is that I'm going to be real, raw, and genuine, okay, and honest. Means I have to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes there will be very negative topics. I'm not going to shy away from non-PC topics. I have to be honest and cover the good, the bad, and the ugly, no matter whether or not it has emotional insecurities or personal affairs in here that are, very negative. I'm not going to shy away from those topics. And the third and last thing is, of course, eventually we're going to stay on course with this. We have to remember the purpose of this is to be to make sure that's actually beneficial and useful and helpful. But also, in order to do that, the methodology is one of the analogies of the Ahn Rho Project is not just as a time capsule, but also as a game mechanics kind of thing, applying game theory to life as usual. A common theme today. So with that being said, let's dive into it. Like I said, the third segment is pretty much empty. I got no photographs today to showcase, so just skip right to the fourth segment, which is this panel right here. Like I said, from Stoic Reflections, life is short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, fear the future, by Stoic Reflections and Seneca. He's just quoting from Seneca. So again, do I agree or do I not? Is something that this page always asks. Are you living the present? I would say that, of course, I don't really have too much insight here into reflecting on this. I just want to showcase this because essentially it's a good mantra to remember. I know that definitely there have been times where I think what they call it, the attraction theory in psychology, that unfortunately, I am the fearful type. I think that's what I am, based off of there's just so many red flags. It's very clear to me that I'm probably the fearful type. Neglect the present. I've done that before. Forget the past. That one is something that I actually do too often. So I tend to remember the past too often and act too much based on the past. So with that being said, that's that. Make sure you try not to get. Again, these are just cliches and mantras, so you shouldn't take them overboard. You know, too far to extreme of anything is not very useful. Let's hop over to the other digital aspects. So we covered photography, which was nothing, and then media, which was, philosophy and academics. Over here, now we have some databasing and metrics and stuff like that. Now, I don't actually have Excel spreadsheet open here, but one of them is fitness, and when I say fitness, it actually includes drinking enough water, so hydration. Am I getting enough exercise? Am I getting activity? Am I going out to work? Am I going outdoors, getting some fresh air? Am I sleeping on time? Am I arriving to work on time? So it's the whole routine cycle. Am I getting enough nutrition? Am I eating too much? Am I eating too little? So overall, this whole week has been a total shit stain. Everything's been going. It went plateaued and just went steadily downhill, and then it just went, it is clunky intervals where just dip further down. I don't have the graph up. I didn't actually prepare the graph yet on Excel, but whatever, that's fine. The point is, we gotta hit that turning point again. It's like every time I fall, there's like a new revelation again. And so if you take a look at the title, I guess we're still on digital stuff. It says to end it all, and then there's the brain, and then there's the self. Now I changed the monetary sign to 0 because we didn't get any new inventory. But I can say, so that's something I would database in there, but I didn't actually get any new inventory or any new equipment. So material stuff, that's nothing. But in terms of more emotional, cognitive, psychiatric kind of stuff, ending it on personal affairs, attitudes, I have to say that let's dive into the abstract segment now. So this is segment 7, right? Essentially, yesterday, for the first time in a while, I opened up to a colleague of mine, to SR, and I told her about the situation a little more than I used to. And I've been pretty much ghosting, not ghosting, but I wouldn't say or explain very much of the situation to anybody. But as of yesterday, things took a bit of a turn, and I started to communicate and express thanks to SR for reaching out to me. So that's my colleague at my workplace, and like I said, she's kind of like my godmother. She has a son and daughter as well. But yeah, that's that. And I also just I would like to thank also KN, who is really, again, a new employee. She's fantastic and tried to open me up and tried to get me a sub help. I was being a bit of a jackass yesterday, so I made some really crude jokes with my colleague down in shipping, so AL, and it's because we're just we have to do all the heavy lifting. So at the same time, one thing you'll get, especially through intense training, intense jobs, is that if it's something that's very physical and you just need to keep yourself moving, you just have to take a brutally ruthless mindset, because no one's going to have sympathy for you if you fail at your job, even if you're working 3, 4, 5 times as hard as other people who aren't doing heavy lifting. But that's your role, that's your job, and you accepted the role, so you gotta take it, and you gotta do whatever it takes to make it work sometimes. And that's that. So I have to apologize in a sense. I just feel awful, for KN, that she, I was saying some things that were just kind of insensitive, and probably just put her the wrong way, but she's a great person and she tried to help me out. And I also want to thank SR for, again, being that motherly figure, just tried to open me up and strike a conversation, and opened up a little bit about how I'm being the psychotherapist for my maternal guardian, so my mother, and then how I had to deal with my father's issues, and the way he had my biological father, the way he had done things to my mother and then to me and my brother, and how everything's a mess. And since August, so 9 months, and now I'm my own patient. So I actually, for the first time, expressed that. So it was good. So this is abstract storytelling, relationships, workplace, that kind of stuff, and then also AL. I'm glad that I got along well with him yesterday. He's the guy who will never get ever upset, angry, or mad, or offended, or insulted in any way by anybody. He just knows how to lighten the atmosphere by just turning a bad moment into a funny moment. He just lightens the mood with humor, and that's an important quality. He's a very charismatic dude, and that's why, like I said, I feel like a bit of a jackass because while we were kind of ripping on each other at the same time, probably sent some mixed messages to some of my other colleagues who are far more sensitive, especially in my department. They're mostly ladies, so they have a little more time, a lot more time actually, and they tend to talk a lot about their personal life, whereas we don't even have a chance to breathe. So the dichotomy, the complete contrast in what we do in shipping and receiving, and not even that, just as coordinators and managing the entire thing versus kind of like general labor and assembly. The work ethic is such a huge contrast, and it makes things difficult sometimes for us to understand each other. So it's simple workplace dynamics, and that's probably the majority of this stream, it seems like. Now, at this point, I'm just going to turn to the side here. It seems like there are no comments on the bottom left-hand side. That was great. I would like to say very quickly that, when it comes to people, I might as well include within the comment section right now an idea to talk about people I should get in touch with. And there's a guy, I want to just say a little shout out to Serge. And I doubt he's watching this, but the point is, that guy, I haven't hit him up in almost 3 months, and I really want to get back to him because I think he's been having a difficult time. But I'm just so busy, and with trying to get in touch with a whole bunch of other people who are just as important, if not more even. So, that's that. One thing I forgot to mention though, by the way, this is all trash, right? Like I said, recyclable. So I gotta take this all as garbage. And then I gotta work overtime again today. So after this stream ends and I edit everything, and then I toss out the trash, I get ready for the recyclables and trash. I gotta go back to work, working overtime as usual. And if I can, like I said, my health is in the shitter right now. I really, really want. I ate a whole bunch of oatmeal today with fiber, and I would like to just take a shit and clear my guts out. Now I don't know if that's possible, but if I can do that before work, that'd be great. If I can't, then oh well. Hopefully I can do it when I get back from work. I need to take a second dump, take another second. Yeah, with that being said, okay, that's wholesome content right there. Wholesome, alright, so this is the Ahn Rho Project. Here's a take-home message. Take care of your health, your finances, yourself. Make sure you become a disciplined, responsible individual. Hope to see a better version of you as myself in the next live stream tomorrow morning. Thank you to all my hypothetical imaginary viewers for tuning in. I'd like to say, of course, that, this is not to be preachy or anything. I hope you just share this understanding with me through your life experience that the best thing you can do for other people is to first take care of yourself. If you can't even stand on your own 2 feet, there's nothing of value that you can have to contribute to the individuals, to groups, and society in general. So take care of yourself first. That's it. So this is Ahn Rho signing out. See you tomorrow. Ciao.